What's up, everyone? Karu here from My Tennis HQ. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm still here in the New York bubble. It's been a while. But yesterday, with Naomi's day off, I was able to go watch a lot of tennis. I wanted to, there was some good first round matches. But I specifically focused on going and watching Jannik Sinner, the young Italian who's been kind of quickly rising up the rankings. I know he didn't win the match yesterday before you comment below, but I wanted to just watch him in action and live to see. I never get the chance of watching him live, so I wanted to go and check it out for myself. I know he is one of the guys that people are talking about who's going to take over the tour after Roger and Rafa and Novak retire. I know that there's a lot of hype on the next gen guys: Tsitsipas, Medvedev, Zverev. Sinner is a little bit younger than that, but he's been doing well. Obviously, didn't really perform as well, I'd say, here in New York, but he's definitely someone that everyone is paying attention to. He's obviously improving very quickly. So I wanted to just watch him in person and kind of give you some of my thoughts of his game. And I don't want to focus too much on his results, especially here in New York. I mean, you win, you lose matches, it's a normal thing. But just on his game and what I saw, what I was impressed by, and some of the things I think he needs to improve. But overall, I think he's a very good player, and for his age, I mean, he's hitting the ball really big. So I just kind of want to give you a little bit of that rundown. So let's get right to it. And before I start, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. It really helps us. We've seen a great growth on our channel recently. We really appreciate everyone who's subscribed. But if you're not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. All right, so starting with the positives that I've seen about his game, he's definitely just a natural ball striker. He hits the ball big with not a lot of effort. I mean, he's technically really sound. His fundamentals are very, very good. His technique is not going to break down in tough moments. And from what I saw, he really goes for it in tight situations. He doesn't really shy away from those moments. So in terms of just pure ball striking, he's one of the best I've seen, period. Like, he hits the ball clean, and good decision making overall from his ground stroke. So definitely saw that he's just, again, a natural ball striker. I don't think I've watched some of the other next gen players in person, Zverev, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, and I know they're all guys who have different I would say game styles, but just in terms of ball striking, I mean, he's right up there with those guys. So that's definitely, he has a high ceiling when it comes to his just ball striking. Obviously, he's still young and he's still not incredibly too fit and too strong, which is something I'll talk a little bit about later. But just in terms of pure ball striking, man, he's a good player. Another positive about his game is his serve. I was actually a little bit surprised about it because I've watched him just on my iPad, and I didn't really think his serve was that good or that big, just watching on TV. But watching in person, his serve is actually really heavy. He gets a good kick on the second serve. He can make that ball move, and the first serve, it really goes. He can crack it. It's not necessarily that precise yet. Like, he's not hitting the spots as well as he should. And I think he can use a little bit of variation on the first serve, cut it a little bit more. But it's very good. But overall, it's technically sound. It is powerful. Again, easy access to power. The kid just has easy access to power. I mean, there's not a lot of people who actually have that. And his second serve it's better than I expected from him when I watched him just on TV. So definitely caught me by surprise in a good way. But again, I still think he needs to hit the spots a little bit better, needs to use a little bit of variation. He's just kind of trying to solve everything with power on his serve. But when he pairs his good serve with his incredibly powerful ground strokes, is definitely a tough combo to get away from. So very good on his service games. Now moving to the returns, again, he does have good returns. He goes for it a little bit too much sometimes. He could use making a few more returns, but he's technically so sound that if he does have a racket on the ball, he's gonna make you play, and he's gonna hit the ball hard back to you. So very good returns as well. I'm not necessarily sure how tall he is, but he's obviously over 6 feet, probably 6'2", 6'3", something like that, and he moves well around the court, so his movement is not a problem. Just kind of like your modern tennis player, right? You're a little bit taller, but still good athlete, good mover. I think we don't have that much anymore. The very tall guys who can move around the court. I think that's just the natural progression of tennis. Everyone needs to be a good mover, and he does it well. Again, he's young. I don't think he's fully quite there yet on his movement, but he won't have a problem developing that. Like sometimes you see guys who they're never going to really be too quick, and I think he's not going to be one of those people. So overall, he has a very complete game. Great ground strokes, great serve, good return, good movement around the court, and again, easy access to power. So just in terms of pure ball striking, he's one of the best out there. Does ball striking win matches, win tournaments? Not necessarily, but I think he's on the right path to becoming one of the great players we'll see for another 10, 15 years. All right, so now let's move to some of the negatives. I don't want to dwell too much on this, because I think a lot of the negative things I've seen is just because of his age. And he's still so young, and he will develop that in the future, no doubt. But first, like I said before, has very easy access to power, and he hits the ball really clean. But he does not have any variation in his game right now. He's just going at it. He's just going big, both sides, and most of his shots kind of travel the same way. He's not adding too many slices, too many, lifting the ball a little bit more, trying to play a little bit heavier, or even like adding some angles to his shot. He's just trying to hit through players, which, if he's on, he'll definitely win. But I think over time, people get used to the pace. Even if you're hitting the ball really big, if they're hitting the same ball over and over and over, especially on a 5-set match, you're gonna get used to it. So I think from the baseline, again, he's so powerful and he can hit the ball so easily big, but he needs to add a little bit of variation. He can use a little bit more angles, maybe pull the ball a little bit with a little more spin, push the guy back a little bit with height, or use a little bit of slice, because as of right now, his opponent just has to move side to side, and most players are really good at that. So I think he does need to add a little bit more variation to his game, just so players stay on their toes a little more, his opponents stay on their toes a little bit more. On the serve, again, kind of the same thing. He's trying to solve everything with power, just hitting big, and if it's, if he's not getting those 3 points, he's hitting a little bit bigger all the time. And again, people get used to that. They find the patterns. Everyone can return 130 mile per hour serves these days, if they get a good read on it. So I think he needs to add a little bit more variation, open up the court a bit more with the serve. I think he's just trying to hit aces down the tee, but he's not really opening the court as much, again, because he's so powerful. He can open up the court a little bit more and just send it to the other side with all that pace. Is going to be really hard to get off that pattern. So I think, again, boils down to I think his youth, powerful kid, can hit the ball hard, so he's trying to use that to get where he wants it. But I think he needs a little bit more variation and using the court a little bit better in his favor. And the last thing, and this is probably the biggest drawback right now in his game, and I think if you just look at him, you will agree with me, he's physically not there yet. I watched him for pretty much a set and a half yesterday. That he took the first set and he took the second set tight in a tight tiebreaker, 7-6. But as soon as the third set started, he was already hobbling around a little bit, and I was like, yeah, he's done. I went back to the suite and I said to a friend, I was like, yeah, he's going to lose that match because he's already physically done, and Kashinov actually looked really fit. So he's obviously young, and I have no doubts that they're going to work on that in the next 2-3 years. But right now, he's just not fit enough. He's not strong enough. I don't think he's ever going to be like a guy who bulks up too much. I think his body type is just the leaner type, but he needs to get stronger. Again, not necessarily get faster. He's a fast kid, and I'm sure they'll be working on that, but his fitness level is just not where his tennis is. His tennis is up here, his fitness is up here, and as we know, like if your fitness is here, your tennis level is going to drop down, and it's not going to be the opposite. So he's just going to need to work on that. He's going to need to become way fitter. And when he does, he's going to be a scary player. I have no doubts he will. I'm sure he's well guided and well coached, but he's obviously really young, so you can expect him to just be, straight up beast out there. I mean, some guys sometimes have that physical ability from a younger age. I don't think he is that person right now. So he's going to need, I would say, 2 to 3 years to get fitter. And ready to play over and over again on the ATP Tour level, right? Because you're going to be playing every day. If it's not a Grand Slam, you're going to be playing every day, so you're going to need to recover faster. And I think that's just his biggest drawback right now. I can see him beating good players, but I don't know if he can sustain that for an entire week or 2 weeks in a slam. So it's not really a dig on him because again he's so young, but he's definitely going to have to work hard on that, because once he does and his fitness level gets to where his tennis capabilities are, and obviously his tennis is going to keep moving up, he's going to be scary to play against. I think with his natural ability of hitting the ball, kind of coming together with his fitness. In the future, he's going to be one of those guys that I think we're going to watch for a long time. So again, I don't really think that is on the long run will be like a negative thing. Like he's not like he has this really big hole on his game that we're going to be able, players are going to be able to explore all the time. But as of right now, he does need to improve his fitness, because I think players will be able to make the matches long enough that his level is going to drop. And that's what we saw yesterday. He was kind of dominating Kashinov. He was hitting the ball better. I could see he actually being the better player from the ground. I mean, he was doing more. Kashinov was kind of fighting for his life there. But by the beginning of the third set, he was like feeling, I don't know if it was back or whatever. I could tell there was something going on, and I just knew he wasn't going to take that match. I mean, he almost did. I actually thought he was going to win more, lose more easily those 3 sets, and he was able to get to a 7-6 in the fifth. But even if he won that, would he be ready for the next one? So it's, again, not necessarily the biggest problem because of his age, but we'll need to see him improving his fitness level in the next 12, 18, 24 months. All right, so this is it for this analysis. I really enjoyed watching Sinner for a couple sets, especially the 2 sets that he was healthy and really going at it. Obviously, like I said, his fitness level isn't there yet to go with his tennis game, but if he does, it's something that we're going to have to watch his progress, because I'm sure we're going to be watching him play, for a long time. So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye out on his fitness level. And once he's physically at the same place as his tennis is, he's going to be more of a threat than a lot of the next gen guys right now. I might be completely wrong. We'll see if this video will age well, but just from the eye test, he does like pass with flying colors. So he's a really good player, and I think everyone's going to enjoy watching him play. And if you like this types of analysis, please let us know in the comments below who you want us to talk about. I have a few plans on maybe doing JJ Wolf, who's quickly rising up the rankings. Maybe Medvedev, who has kind of like such a crazy game. So I'll probably be working on that in the near future. And again, if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. It really helps us. And hit the like button. Visit mytennishq.com. We have a bunch of articles up there for you tennis aficionados. And follow us on social media at mytennishq on Instagram, at mytennishq_ on Twitter. And I'll see you guys on the next one.